UFC 306 at the Sphere just wrapped up, and I'm going to go through and recap every single fight that happened on this card. It was a pretty good card, all things considered. A lot of people were really trashing on the card, hating on it early on, saying it's lackluster, Dana White is making false promises, and thinking that this card would not live up to all the hype. But I thought it was a pretty good card. The prelims were really good, especially. The prelims were really, really good. The only exception really being the first fight on the card, Raul Rosas Jr. versus Arichi Long. I picked Raul Rosas Jr., and he got it done, 29-28, as a minus 1,000 favorite. I don't like that. I want you to get Arichi Long out of there, preferably early, rounds 1, round 2. But, a win's a win. I'm not going to hate on him too hard. He got it done. But in round 2, he couldn't get Arichi Long down. And I was thinking, this is not looking good for Raul Rosas Jr. He's having trouble getting him down. And it seemed like the momentum was kind of shifting in favor of Arichi Long going into round 3. But fortunately for Raul Rosas Jr., in round 3, he was able to get Arichi Long down to the ground and control him and win rounds 1 and 3 pretty much based off control time. Not a great fight. Round 2 was pretty good. They had a moment where they kind of swung back and forth and traded big shots. But other than that, wasn't really a barn burner, but Raul Rosas Jr. gets it done. I'd like to see him against a ranked opponent next, or at least someone close to the rankings. Maybe like a Pedro Munoz. I wouldn't mind that. But yeah, I think it's time for a step up in competition for Raul Rosas Jr., especially if he wants to be the youngest UFC champion in history. He's going to have to take a big step up in his next fight. But yeah, good win from Raul Rosas Jr. He gets it done, 29-28. Next fight was Edgar Chairez versus Joshua Van. Man, Josh Van, dude. I love Josh Van. I could ramble about Josh Van all night long, dude. He's probably in my top 3 favorite fighters in the UFC currently. He is so fun to watch. He is so fun. His boxing is so good, and I really just feel bad for him. He got it done. I picked Joshua Van. He got it done. 29-28. But I really feel bad for Joshua Van because he is like a naturally small guy. Like, he's 5'5", and allegedly Edgar Chairez is 5'7". They do not look 2 inches apart. Edgar Chairez looks huge, especially compared to Josh Van. Look like David versus Goliath. Like a massive, massive difference in their build. Edgar Chairez is huge. Joshua Van looks like he should be fighting at the smallest weight class in the sport. And Edgar Chairez looks like he could fight at bantamweight. So you really feel bad for Josh Van because it's like these people are cutting weight to make flyweight. And I can't imagine Josh Van has to cut much weight. He's just a naturally small person. But man, in round 1, Josh Van gets dropped. I'm like, oh God, here we go. He came back too early. Edgar Chairez is a guy that I was saying he didn't have a lot of power in his hands. Like, he doesn't have a lot of KOs. Like, I think he's got a flying knee KO. But, like, he doesn't have a lot of KOs with punches, and he dropped Josh Van with a punch. And I'm thinking, okay, Josh Van, he came back too early from the Charles Johnson KO. He's going to get knocked out. He loses round 1. Round 2, he comes out, and he puts a clinic on. Boxing, combinations looking as beautiful as always, mixing it up really well to the body and to the head. And eventually one of those combinations hurt Chairez to the body bad. He was doubled over, hunched over. I thought he was about to get him out of there. And then Edgar Chairez lands a spinning back fist that rocks Josh Van. So now they're both kind of rocked, but now the tables have turned and Chairez is trying to push the pace and get the finish after Josh Van nearly finishes him. Really good round. This is probably the best fight on the card. Definitely up there. But round 2 I gave to Josh Van. I gave round 1 to Chairez. And then round 3, Josh Van gets it done. He had a lot of success with his control time, but he also, I think, landed the better shots on the feet very slightly. And then the control time from top position kind of gave him that round. So Josh Van gets it done, 29-28. Thank the Lord. I'm so glad Josh Van bounced back. I don't know what I would have done if he got KO'd in round 1. I would be very, very upset. But he gets it done over Edgar Chairez. And his boxing looked good as always. He is so fun to watch. I love watching Josh Van. I can't wait to watch his next fight. He is definitely one of the most exciting fighters in the sport. Moving up, Yasmin Jauregui versus Caitlin Souza. Yasmin Jauregui, I mean, what is there to say? I remember when she was undefeated, she was like the next big thing at women's strawweight. You know, she was a future champion coming into the UFC. And then, boom, she loses her UFC debut to Denise Gomez by KO, like early in that fight. So, okay. And then she bounced back with a win over Sam Hughes, who was an absolute can. And the hype was kind of back on. Okay. Lucky punch from Denise Gomez. She's bouncing back. Future champ, whatever. And now Caitlin Souza drops her and chokes her out in round 1. I mean, this is the state of women's MMA. Like, these are your prospects. Yasmin Jauregui just lost to Caitlin Souza, and people were talking about her being a future champion at one point. So, I mean, good win from Caitlin Souza, but man, Yasmin Jauregui, I don't know what to say. She's done. I don't think she's ever going to be anything in the sport. Like, losing to Denise Gomez, losing to Caitlin Souza, not a good look at all. But Caitlin Souza gets it done. I mean, you should have really known who was going to win this fight. I mean, just look at the two. One of them has a little more testosterone than the other, that's all I'll say. But good win from Caitlin Souza. Moving on, Manuel Torres versus Ignacio Bahamondes. Oh, I picked Yasmin Jauregui, by the way. I think most people did, but whatever. Manuel Torres versus Ignacio Bahamondes. I picked Ignacio Bahamondes as an underdog. It says he's a favorite on here, but till the tape said he was an underdog. And he got it done, man. He is too good in the striking. It's like I said in my prediction video. I was very back and forth, but if the fight's a stand-up fight, which I believed it would be, it's hard to pick against Ignacio Bahamondes because he is so accurate. He is so powerful. He is such a good counter striker. And Manuel Torres, he leaves himself open. And you just can't leave yourself open to be hit with a counter shot by Ignacio Bahamondes. He found it twice, found it once, knocked him down, nearly finished him. Kind of sat in his guard for a little bit, then got back up, and then hit him again with the exact same shot. It kind of looked like the Aljamain Sterling, Sean O'Malley knockout, kind of a pullback left hand from Bahamondes and knocked Torres down. And this time he was done. Some follow-up shots. Gets it done in round 1. Incredible win from Ignacio Bahamondes. Yeah, dude, he's just another level in the striking. He is so good. I don't think there's a lot of people that's going to be able to stand and strike with Ignacio Bahamondes. He looks so good. He's too accurate. He's too powerful. So good win from Ignacio Bahamondes. He got it done as an underdog. Mexicans did not do too well on this card. I think they started like 1-4. Like after Raul Rosas Jr. won, Shirez lost, Jauregui lost, Torres lost, and then we get to the next fight, Irene Aldana versus Norma Dumont. Irene Aldana lost. I picked Irene Aldana. I wasn't very confident because I said, oh, she could just go out there and not throw like she did against Nunes, where she just did not throw punches. She just like didn't want to win, I guess. But Dumont was looking very bottom heavy as always, even though she was wearing the loose shorts. You know, she was very bottom heavy. Really helped her base, I guess. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just kind of rambling. Irene Aldana, she got a massive cut on her forehead, like a huge cut. It was one of the worst cuts I've ever seen. Like, it is massive cut on Irene Aldana. But yeah, Norma Dumont just kind of outboxed her. You know, Irene Aldana allegedly has this knockout power, dangerous striker at women's bantamweight, and she got outboxed by Norma Dumont. So, just your average women's MMA fight, nothing makes sense. But good win from Norma Dumont. I'd rather her win anyway because, well, you know why. But anyway, Ronaldo Rodriguez versus Ode Osborne, opening up the main card. Ronaldo Rodriguez gets the win. I picked Ode Osborne, and I thought he was going to get it done in round 1. He dropped Ronaldo Rodriguez bad, followed up with some follow-up shots, and then got him in a super tight triangle. Ronaldo Rodriguez doesn't tap. Ode Osborne's landing elbows while he's in the triangle. He wins round 1. Round 2 is a 10-8 for Ronaldo Rodriguez on all 3 cards, I think, or at least 2 of them. I can't remember the scorecards, but I know at least 2 of them. And then round 3, they gave to Ronaldo Rodriguez again, I'm guessing. It was a very close round. Round 3 was super close. But the main thing I want to talk about in this fight is I don't understand how 10-8 rounds are given out anymore. And I'm done trying to understand. Personally, you guys can let me know what you thought. I thought round 1 was a 10-8 for Ode Osborne. And then I thought round 2 was a 10-8 for Ronaldo Rodriguez. I thought this fight could have been 28-27 either way, which is an insane scorecard. But I thought the first 2 rounds were 10-8s, and round 3 could go either way. I don't know how Ode Osborne doesn't get a 10-8 in round 1 when he nearly KO'd Ronaldo Rodriguez and also nearly submitted him with an arm triangle or a triangle choke. He nearly KO'd him and submitted him in the same round, landing elbows while he's in the triangle choke. I don't know how that's not a 10-8 round. He almost finished the fight twice, but yet we're giving Khamzat Chimaev a 10-8 round for just sitting on Usman's back and landing the tiniest little shots that have no steam behind them whatsoever. Never came close to finishing the fight other than a choke that was never in. It's not like the choke was in and Usman was grimacing and he had to fight out of it. He never had a choke in. He never was close to winning by TKO. But yet that was a unanimous 10-8 round for Khamzat. So I don't understand how 10-8 rounds are given out. It just seems like they're random. I thought that was a clear 10-8 round. I mean, if you nearly finish a fight twice by KO and by sub, I don't know how that's not a 10-8 round. Ronaldo Rodriguez did hardly anything in round 1. It's whatever. Like I said, the fight was close. The fight was competitive. And Ronaldo Rodriguez gets it done. He finally breaks the losing streak of Mexicans on this card. I believe they were 1-4 up to this point. Yeah, because it was 1-0, 1-1, 1-2, 1-3, 1-4, and then 2-4 with Ronaldo Rodriguez. But yeah, I just don't understand how 10-8s are given out. I thought Osborne got a 10-8 round 1. But again, it is what it is. And my opinion hasn't changed on Ronaldo Rodriguez. I still think he's a can-crushing bum. He went to war with Ode Osborne, who is 12-7, 12-8 now, and people will consider absolute garbage. So if you consider Ode Osborne absolute garbage, and then Ronaldo Rodriguez nearly gets finished in round 1 by him, you know, what does that make Ronaldo Rodriguez, who is now 17-2, absolutely padded record full of NPCs and bots. But good win from Ronaldo Rodriguez. I know he made a lot of fans with the press conference. It's what I don't really care about the press conference. I'm not a WWE fan. I'm here to watch people fight in the cage. I don't care if you're good on the mic. I don't care if you're bad on the mic. I just like watching entertaining fighters. But I know he made a few fans over the weekend, so maybe he can be something in the flyweight division, which is already very shallow. So he'll probably get a ranked opponent next because it's flyweight. But yeah, good win from Ronaldo Rodriguez. The Mexican heart and Mexican chin, as they always say, pulled through. And he was able to get it done over Ode Osborne. Moving up the card, we had Esteban Ribovich versus Daniel Zellhuber. This was a very close fight, split decision. I thought Zellhuber would get it done. I picked Zellhuber, and I thought he did enough to get it done. Very close. I'm not mad at it. It's not a robbery or anything. Very, very close fight. But, man, I was really confident in Zellhuber getting it done. He's very good on the feet, very crisp, very technical. Had a huge reach advantage over Esteban Ribovich. And, man, he just, in round 3, round of the year probably. I mean, both guys got dropped. Both guys nearly got finished. Daniel Zellhuber was running around fighting for his life for like a minute and a half straight on wobbly legs. Just an insane round. Probably the best round of the year. One of the best fights of the year. This is right up there with Josh Van and Edgar Chairez. There were some really good fights on this card. This card is probably this is up there for one of the best cards of the year. Honestly, this was a really, really good card. But yeah, Ribovich, his power just proved to be the difference. Zellhuber's never really shown a lot of power in his hands. He dropped Ribovich with an elbow in round 3, but he's never really shown power with his hands. And Ribovich has power in his hands. So the power advantage really made a difference here in this fight. And Ribovich was able to get it done. He clipped Zellhuber bad in round 3, nearly finished him. Both guys nearly finished each other in round 3. So, yeah, this was an awesome fight. Really, really fun fight. Could go either way, but they gave it to Ribovich. Again, I'm not mad at it. Awesome fight. And Ribovich continues to prove a lot of people wrong. I picked Terrence McKinney to beat him, which in hindsight does not look good. But, yeah, I picked Terrence McKinney to beat him. I picked Zoe Huber to beat him, and he's beat both of them. So he's just continuing to win as the underdog time and time again, although the McKinney fight was close. I think McKinney was like a very slight underdog, and I think that's why I picked him, because I liked him as an underdog. But he was a big underdog in this fight. He was, yeah, plus 185. He was a big underdog in this one. And he got it done. Good win from Esteban Ribovich, and a really awesome fight. Moving up to the feature fight on the card, Brian Ortega versus Diego Lopez. I picked Diego Lopez, and he got it done. Dominated Brian Ortega for 3 rounds. I said Diego Lopez would be significantly better than Brian Ortega on the feet, and if the fight were to get to the ground, that Diego Lopez is just as good as Brian Ortega on the mat. He's very defensively sound in the grappling. He's and he's also good offensively on the ground. I just didn't see a way Brian Ortega got this one done. And yeah, he did not get it done. Round 1, I picked him by round 1 KO, and I thought it happened. Diego Lopez landed a massive overhand right on Brian Ortega, and then as Ortega's falling to the ground, he lands a left hook behind the overhand, and it almost looked like the left hook woke Brian Ortega up. Like, it looked like the overhand right put him out cold, and then the left hook woke him up, and he was able to survive. But Diego Lopez wins round 1, wins round 2, wins round 3. He just dominated him everywhere. Brian Ortega did land some shots here and there. He had success with his 1-2, his jab. But there was a very clear and obvious power difference between the two. Like when Brian Ortega would land his 1-2, Diego Lopez, his head snapped back a little bit, and he's right back in. He's bouncing around. When Diego Lopez lands a 1-2, Brian Ortega's stumbling backwards. He has to regain his footing. You know, he goes flying back. There was just an obvious power difference when Diego Lopez would land compared to Brian Ortega. Yeah, Diego Lopez, he's very physically imposing. He's a very big featherweight, very strong, very explosive, very athletic. Great striking, great chin, and great cardio. The commentary team wants to talk about how Diego Lopez looks like he's slowing down, but I mean, sure, he might have slowed down a little bit, but it's not like he's completely gassed. He still looked like he was pushing a pretty strong pace in round 3. He was still he was not looking tired at all in round 3. He looks like a very, very dangerous threat at featherweight. And his leg kicks on Brian Ortega were very powerful, and he had Ortega's leg swollen up bad from his low kicks. Chewed up his leg, dropped him multiple times with his hands. Brian Ortega just didn't really have any success. Like I said, he landed a couple shots here and there, but just no power behind him. Diego Lopez is just too strong. He's too big, and he's got too good of a chin for Brian Ortega. So Diego Lopez was able to get it done. Great win from him. Now moves into the top 3 at featherweight, and he looks like a very dangerous matchup for Ilia Topuria, is all I'm going to say. Not sure what you do with him. Maybe Volk? Who knows? As for Brian Ortega, I mean, I guess you look down the rankings, maybe Arnold Allen. I'd like to see that. Haven't seen that yet. Brian Ortega, Arnold Allen. I think that'd be fun. Next fight on the card, the co-main event. Alexa Grasso versus Valentina Shevchenko. I'm going to keep it completely honest with you. All right? I'm going to keep it a buck. I'm not fucking talking about this. This fight fucking sucked. I stopped watching after round 2. I'm just going to be honest. I stopped watching. I just kind of took a lap around the house. You know, anything to not watch this fight. Absolutely fucking boring. Valentina Shevchenko won. She's boring as fuck. I don't know why people pretend Valentina Shevchenko's ever been an entertaining fighter. She's had some entertaining performances here and there, but a majority of her fights are fucking dull and boring. Like, she's boring as fuck. And she's old. I don't want to watch her. I'm not watching her. I'm not watching women's MMA anymore. I don't care. It's all garbage. It all is fucking garbage. It all sucks. Valentina Shevchenko won, apparently. Whatever, dude. I don't care. Congrats. I hope she retired in the cage. I didn't even watch. I kept looking over, and my God, the fucking post-fight interview drug on. I looked over every now and then, and she was still in there fucking talking. Her and Joe Rogan, bro. Yap, yap, yap. I didn't listen to a single fucking word of it. It was muted. But good Lord, they wouldn't stop talking. Valentina, like, how does she have that much to say? Fuck, I'm so tired of her. Jesus Christ. All right, anyway, main event. Sean O'Malley versus Merab Dvalishvili. Yeah, Merab's boring as fuck. I can't believe this guy is our fucking champion, bro. Oh my God, man. Like, I'm trying not to get mad because, you know, Merab's worked his entire life to become a UFC champion. He's made it, you know, he's on top of the world. Like, congrats to him. But God fucking damn, dude. He has no talent. I don't care what you say. You can say I'm coping all you want. He is so untalented. It's not even funny. Like, he's the only fighter I've ever seen in my entire life blast the cleanest double leg ever, get someone down directly in the center of the octagon, straight into full mount, and then not even 30 seconds later, his opponent's back to his feet. He cannot control anyone on the ground. He has no submission threat. He has no power in his hands. He has 14 decision wins out of his 18 wins. He is boring as fuck, man. Like, it's so unfortunate because, like, I want entertaining fights, and Sean O'Malley's the entertaining fighter. Merab is boring as fuck with no skill at all in his body. He's never gotten a finish against anyone other than Marlon Moraes. He is awful, man. He's boring as fuck. He's going to ruin the division. Like, it's just unfortunate, man. Like, I had a feeling this would happen. You know, it's always kind of been inevitable. He's wrestle-fucked everyone with his EPO and his inbredness. Like, it was kind of inevitable. And then when everyone started picking Sean O'Malley, it was like, oh, okay, he's going to fucking lose now. Like, you know, that's kind of what it felt like leading up. But I wasn't going to let that change my pick. I still believed in Sean O'Malley to find the shot because Merab fucking sucks at everything. He's terrible at striking. He's terrible at in striking defense. He can't control anyone. He can't submit anyone. He can't knock anyone out. He just has insane cardio. And that's literally all he has. He's not good at anything else. Merab versus Umar is probably my nightmare matchup. Like, I am not fucking watching that, dude. I'm not fucking tuning into that pay-per-view, bro. I'm not tuning in. I'm not watching that shit. I mean, yeah, it's gonna be Merab versus Umar. I mean, whatever. Like, he's boring as fuck, completely unmarketable. Like, no one wants to watch his fight style. He sucks at everything. He just never stops sucking, so that's why he beats you. You know, he doesn't give you a second to breathe. He just runs around the octagon and then feints a 1-2 at range and then shoots a double leg. And maybe he gets it, maybe he doesn't. But one thing's for sure, he's not going to fucking stop shooting them. So, yeah, Merab gets it done over Sean O'Malley. Merab versus Umar. Sean O'Malley versus... I don't know. This isn't a matchmaking video. Whatever. That was UFC 306. The fight was good, or the card was really, really good until the co-main and main event, where it was absolutely fucking dull and boring because you have Valentina Shevchenko and Merab Dvalishvili, who are incapable of producing entertaining fights. But, yeah, let me know what you guys thought about the main event. Are you glad Merab won? I really doubt it. But I'll see you next time. Maybe. I might just kill myself.